Hey Brew, did you know that on May 31st, it marks the 100th anniversary of what is believed to be one of the worst incidents of racial violence in the US? Well, here's some history. A white mob attacked Tulsa, Oklahoma's Greenwood district, killing hundreds and destroying over 1,000 homes and businesses. Now, most of Tulsa's African-American residents lived in the Greenwood district, a thriving center for Black commerce, also known as Black Wall Street. The neighborhood was about 40 square blocks, and it had its own newspapers, several churches, its own library branch, and a ton of Black-owned businesses. So what set this horrific incident into motion? It all stemmed from Dick Rowland, an African-American shoe shiner, and Sarah Page, a white elevator operator, being in an elevator together. There's a lot of speculation as to what happened in the Drexel building elevator that day, but according to the Oklahoma Historical Society, the most common explanation is that Dick Rowland stepped on Sarah Page's shoe as he entered the elevator, causing her to scream. How did this seemingly small occurrence lead to one of the worst incidents of racial violence in the US? Well, a witness says that they saw Dick Rowland run away from the elevator after they heard Sarah Page's scream. The next day, Dick was picked up by police, and the Tulsa Tribune reported that Dick raped Sarah. That night, on May 31st, hundreds of white Tulsans showed up at the Tulsa County Courthouse wanting to lynch Dick. And since local Black Tulsans didn't trust the police to protect Dick, they too showed up offering police their assistance, but the police turned them down. As they were leaving, a white man tried to disarm one of the Black Tulsans, and an accidental shot was fired, sparking the riot. White Tulsans were angry. It wasn't just over the failed lynching of Dick Rowland. They had years of bottled up hatred and resentment toward the thriving Greenwood district in Tulsa, so they took this opportunity to take out their rage on the Black Tulsans. Carloads of white people began doing drive-by shootings in Black residential neighborhoods, and before the sun rose on June 1st, thousands of white people poured into the Greenwood district, looting homes and setting businesses on fire. They tore through the town with a machine gun, and some even claimed that airplanes were used in the attack. By the time additional National Guard troops arrived in Tulsa that morning, most of the Greenwood district had already been burned to the ground by the white mob. Now, Dick Rowland was later exonerated, but an all-white grand jury blamed Black Tulsans for what happened during the riots. And despite the overwhelming evidence, no one was ever sent to prison for the murders and the arson that destroyed Black Wall Street. So why are we still talking about Black Wall Street? It's kind of a big deal. The Greenwood district in Tulsa, Oklahoma flourished as a hub for African-American entrepreneurs during the Jim Crow era, a time where Black Americans were denied the right to vote and denied jobs. Its destruction erased 15 years of Black wealth and self-sufficiency, with repercussions we can still see today. One of those repercussions is the wealth gap. According to the New York Times, for every dollar the average white family has, a Black family only has 12 cents. Black Americans have also been historically discriminated against in the financial sector. Lenders deny Black applicants 2.5 times more than white applicants for mortgages. And in 2020, there were 5,001 FDIC-insured financial institutions in the US, and as of February 2021, only 44 of them were Black-owned. But there are people looking to change that. So here's the question. How are people trying to increase the Black footprint in finance today? Following the murder of George Floyd and the protests that erupted across the country, JPMorgan Chase pledged $30 billion to help address racial inequality over the next 5 years. The initiative aims to boost home ownership, increase banking to underserved communities, provide capital for minority-owned businesses, and diversify the bank's own employee ranks. Citi and Bank of America also pledged $1 billion each to help tackle racial inequality and economic mobility among communities of color. The history of Black Wall Street has inspired many, and even sparked the creation of Greenwood, a full-service digital banking platform set to launch this summer with Black and Latino customers in mind. The platform aims to help combat the lack of wealth, lack of money circulation, and lack of generational wealth transfer in the Black community, picking up where the Greenwood district left off.